FIFA La Real Estate. We're talking about how this year's World Cup, the absolute success it's being kicked off with, is impacting real estate prices. Stay tuned. There's the numbers.
Ole, 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 ole. What does it say?
So you're looking at the numbers for total attendance across World Cups, starting in 1991 in China, and then how that's looking, as you progress through the years, every 4 years World Cup. Now being in Australia, New Zealand, I think everyone's heard about it by now, but the numbers are slowly starting to talk for themselves because there's an estimated 1.5 million tickets that have been sold. So we're already smashed 2019 numbers in France by 25%, which is awesome.
It makes me wonder, is it really about kicking a ball, like a leather ball around some grass?
I think it's gone beyond that.
So what is it?
I think it's a holiday for some people. It's a dream come true for some people. It's, just the most unbelievable experience to go and watch their country play. Some countries have never been involved in a World Cup like this. The Philippines, as an example, beat New Zealand earlier in the week, and it was the first win they've ever had on a World Cup stage. So it's so many things for different fans.
Because it's big. Like it's not just kicking a leather ball around a piece of grass. The symbolism, the emotion, the attendance, the budget, the host city, the impact on a host city to real estate. There's just this magic, and there's the sense of belonging, the sense of need.
Yeah.
It's an emotional roller coaster, and I think the best way to record it is if it's a growing industry, and boy, it's a growing industry.
Yeah, certainly. And I think if there's an appetite for it, and the country can put on a great show when they want to put on a great show, it's an all-round success, and this is what I think it's proving to be, particularly with some of the games. We're seeing in Sydney, the stadiums are full, which is awesome.
And these stadiums got 70,000, 80,000 people, and you're transporting into the stadium. You're sometimes buying a meal, going to dinner before or after or during in the stadium. So there's money being spent. Huge for a city, huge, and coming off the back of something like Vivid, where I think we recorded 3.5 million people in attendance, and then slamming straight into the FIFA World Cup. If you haven't seen some of the installations around the city, this is big. This is the biggest of budget stuff that gets done in a city. This is it's a Olympic caliber.
Yeah, spot on. And people, countries are bidding for these opportunities years in advance to get them teed up on the back of each other, and then be able to, kind of back it up and, put on the great show. It's not a small task for any country. So it's really impressive stuff. What a great job. Co-host New Zealand as well as doing it.
I do have to admit, I don't follow it, but I did go to a game, and I think you have to go to a game. I think there's a beauty in it, with everyone in there, everyone roaring, the competition. It's very, very cool, even if you don't follow soccer. So guys and girls who aren't soccer followers, get out to a game. It's electric.
Yeah, and I think how does this all tie back to real estate? Well, we said in the Vivid segment we did, it's all positive. I think it shows Sydney in such great light. Hopefully some of these international tourists and players come back for holidays. But I've got some numbers from FIFA to try and put some context as to how big this has been received. So the opening day, Thursday, 20th of July, so a couple of weeks ago now, saw more than 117,000 pack Eden Park in Auckland, and then 42,000 of those who attended New Zealand's opening game, which was against Norway, was the all-time high for a football match for women or men in the country. New Zealand, ever. 42,137. The most attendance.
Unbelievable.
Football, or men or women in New Zealand. And then 75,784 fans in Sydney for Australia's games against the Republic of Ireland was the highest attendance at a FIFA Women's World Cup for 24 years. And that was me. That was you.
Was I the four at the end?
You took the family. You broke
would
records.
Would have been three without me. That's huge.
The highest attendance at a women's World Cup game for 24 years. And that was only after 6 days after the tournament. And, they've sold 1.5 million tickets, and there's 64 games in total. So there you go.
And you know what? I think that I love I'm a big marketer. I love marketing, and I think there's a beauty in it that when you're putting in more than you're taking out, there's a reward for it. And as a host city, if you're scratching your head thinking, why the hell are we spending all this money and all this time in doing that? You're putting in more than you're taking out. And I think of being a host city, putting in more than you're taking out, I think there's reward for it in years to come. A lot of people are looking at us, and it's very aspirational. They're seeing parts of Sydney that they'd never seen in some of that media. There's a installation down opposite the Opera House, so it's near the Park Hyatt. They've built this the FIFA commentary studios. Man, they've built this giant, I reckon they've spent $5 million on it. And it's a temporary structure. And then it's got these couches that have the glass behind them, which present the Opera House. Then it's got these studios, a big studio where it's just two single couches, and it presents our bridge. So, the camera's there, the commentator's there, and the real life bridge behind. Like, that's putting us in a really, really positive light that we're not going to get unless we do these sort of things. So very, very cool for real estate, very cool for our community, and fun.
Yeah, absolutely. My last set of numbers here. So after Tuesday's game against Korea Republic and Colombia, completed the first round of the matches, total attendance over the 16 games was 459,547 people. And that's an average of 28,721 people, a 54% increase compared to the first 16 games of France 2019. So 28% increase upwards against the first 16 games of when it was in France 4 years ago.
Well done, Australia. Well done, New Zealand. Corker of a job. Some things that we may have missed that you and I were talking about off air. We are going to, the infrastructure. There is infrastructure that gets put in place for things like this that we benefit, from years to come. Stimulating the local economy generates huge revenue. A lot of people have travelled to the city of Sydney, and they're not just spending money buying a ticket. They're spending money flying, hotel rooms, restaurants, going to local stuff around. So it has that huge stimulator there. It fosters national and local pride. Now, I know pride's a huge thing. Belief, pride, belonging is a huge thing, and it's a a great thing that you can't quite quantify or put your finger on, but it's definitely there. So we've achieved that. Look, it is a huge cost to our city. It unfortunately can add to inflation, and we've sort of it hasn't with us. It's helped us, and we've sort of gone the other way. So it would have added inflation even more so. So we've fought that off, which is good.
It's good. I think there's many reasons to be loving a big event like this, to be in town, whatever it is, light show, football, Rugby World Cup, maybe in the next year or so, whatever it is.
It is. So congratulations to Sydney, congratulations to FIFA, and thank you. And in the months and years to come, congratulations to real estate, because this sort of stuff really, really does facilitate capital growth. I know people are going to say we don't need prices to go up anymore, but you certainly don't want them to go down. So if we're stable or we're heading in an upwards direction, I always look at that as positive, as opposed to going down that we're all stuffed. So the FIFA is moves property prices in a positive direction, which is good.
Yeah, and it's not like all these games are just being played on the northern beaches at Cromer Park. They're being shared between stadiums, even interstate and across to New Zealand as well. So it's much bigger than just one area benefiting.
And that is the FIFA World Cup Women's. And when's the final, Billy Bob?
Oh, I can't tell you, actually. I'm not sure on the date, but I know the Matildas had a big win last night against Canada, guaranteed them a promotion through to knockout stages. So it was a big game last night. It was win or go home. Pulled through with a 4-0 big clutch up. So they're moving in the right direction to the finals. Not sure when it is. A few weeks, I think. A couple of weeks.
Awesome. Everyone, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And Bill, it's good to see you back. Billy's been sick.
Yeah, I reckon food poisoning diagnosed. Real bad. Be careful out there, guys.
Do you reckon your mum did that to get you to leave home?
She tried. And it nearly worked. Came to work instead.
Oh, your mum's the best. All right, take care. See you guys.
See you, Mark.